They're now making medications to offset the symptoms of other medications, to offset the symptoms of other medications. And so as we step back and look at this from a consciousness perspective, I want you to see what's going on here in the body. Your body has a pain. A lot of times, I believe that our society treats it as like, body, there's something wrong with you. Stop talking. Okay. But the body is like, hello, I would like you to know what's going on with me. The body, this vessel that you chose to come into earth with, is your greatest catalyst for growth, for ascension, for fulfilling your dreams. But you have to understand it. Hello, sweet, beautiful souls, and welcome back. Today, we are going to be talking about a very controversial topic. So I would like to preface all of this with, this is not intended to be medical advice. This is not intended to supplement or be in any way, shape, or form medical advice, or take precedence over seeing a practitioner or a doctor, therapist, anything. I am not suggesting that you do or do not do anything with your current medications, supplements, regimes, and please seek further medical advice if you really need it. So with all of that out of the way, I really would like to talk about pain, anxiety, depression, these really uncomfortable things that we feel in the body. I cannot tell you how many times, or how many clients rather at this point I have seen who we all experience it. We all experience pain, suffering in some way, shape, or form. And I believe I'm here to help people with that. And when we can rid ourselves of pain, of anxiety, of depression, we automatically raise our consciousness so that we can be of greatest service to the whole, so that we can serve our soul's mission. But in order to do that, we have to feel good in these body vessels. We have to feel good in these body vessels. And so today I really want to talk about, why do we experience these? And these are not pain that you experience in your body. It is not a pharmaceutical deficiency. It is not. So let's begin there. Let's begin there. There are vitamin and mineral deficiencies. We are made, these bodies that we have come to earth and chosen to inhabit, these beautiful bodies, they require vitamins and minerals. Why? Because vitamins and minerals are what the earth is made of. We are of the earth. Some really important ones would be magnesium, vitamin D. Those are like my top. When I was doing nutrition, that was like the top ones that always showed up for people. There's a whole myriad of vitamins and minerals that the body needs. The body needs these to feel good. You can have deficiencies in these and you will not feel good. Myself, like, it's so funny. I mean, here's the thing also, we're not supposed to take everything every day. So this is another reason why I don't believe that multivitamins are a good idea, because you're a bio-individual being, my dear friend. You are so unique. Your chemistry and biology And physiology is so unique that to say that one person's formula of vitamins and minerals is what your body needs might be completely inaccurate. And while there are water soluble vitamins that if we get too much of these, the body just pushes them out, but there are some that are not. So there are then fat soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. So if you are getting too many of these, the body holds on to them in the fat tissues and they can cause toxicity. So I say all of this because I think vitamins and minerals are so important. So like myself, as an example, just the other day, I was like, man, like I'm a little bit tired, a little bit low energy. And then I was like, wait, I haven't taken magnesium in a while. Right? And so it's like we need these things. And oh my goodness, especially if you live in the Pacific Northwest during the wintertime, please take vitamin D, please. And K2, because that helps with it. And magnesium helps you absorb the vitamin D. And you need magnesium in order to absorb your calcium, and vitamin D to absorb your calcium. And vitamin A, so important for the gut, and vitamin E for the skin. Like these are amazing vitamins, and minerals are so important too. Like I put minerals in my water. Okay, you get the point. These are very important things. I would never blindly just take a multivitamin because one, most of the multivitamins are synthetic and our body actually doesn't know how to absorb them when they're synthetic. If you are looking for really good quality vitamins and minerals, reach out. I'm a practitioner with companies that make really good products that are in integrity and made of things that our body recognizes. So because we have vitamin and mineral deficiencies, I believe that many people have come to think that when they go to the doctor and they're prescribed a medication, they think it is because their body needs it. I have pain, XYZ medication stops the pain. So let's back up for a moment. First of all, pharmaceuticals are made in a lab. They're man-made. They're not from the earth, or if they are made from the earth, they are highly processed and manipulated in a lab. So what do these pharmaceuticals do? I have not studied pharmaceuticals. So this is from a consciousness perspective, okay? Because while I am a nutritionist, I went to school, but we are not prescribing pharmaceuticals. I'm not a doctor. So also, that is another disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am not a doctor, okay? I am a nutritionist and hypnotherapist and channel that receives I have been given a lot of information about the consciousness of pharmaceuticals. And it actually makes me very sad. It makes me very sad because people aren't told. People aren't told any better. People don't know. This is information. I just feel like we are going to be looking back in 100 years and being like, oh my goodness. Well, maybe we won't be looking back in 100 years. Our kids will. Hopefully in 20 years, we'll be looking back and being like, oh my goodness, why were pharmaceuticals so just taken so easily and without much care? For me and my generation growing up, that was antibiotics. It was like, you have a cold, take antibiotics. You have a sore throat, take antibiotics. You have the sniffles, take antibiotics, right? And I did, like, very much. And it took me a lot of years to repair my gut. Um and I believe there's still things that like this is not something that you heal overnight. And I think doctors are now starting to see that some that you don't just take antibiotics for everything. Um, but now I feel like we're like that with pharmaceuticals. So when there are so many pharmaceuticals, there are now pharmaceuticals. This is probably just for me saying it. This is probably I'm probably triggering so many like algorithms of like don't show this. But that's okay because I want, if this helps one person, my job has been fulfilled. They're now making medications to offset the symptoms of other medications, to offset the symptoms of other medications. And so, as I was saying before, as we step back and look at this from a consciousness perspective, I want you to see what's going on here in the body. Your body has a pain. Your body has a pain. So what is this? A lot of times, I believe that our society treats it as like, body, there's something wrong with you. Stop. Stop talking. Okay? But the body is like, hello, I would like you to know what's going on with me. The body, this vessel that you chose to come into earth with, is your greatest catalyst for growth, for ascension, for fulfilling your dreams. But you have to understand it. This isn't easy. I'm not saying this is easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's very simple. Body talks, we must listen. So when the body is hurting, this is why so often things get worse, or why more symptoms arise if you just take a pharmaceutical. Because from a consciousness perspective, if you are simply, for example, the ones that just turn off the pain receptors, that's the one that they recommended to me back in the day when I had pain and I was going in so often for this pain. And they said, you know, you should probably take an antidepressant. They said it'll be twofold. One, they thought I was crazy. And two, they said it'll just shut off the pain receptor so you won't feel the pain. So when we do that, we're basically signaling to the body, hey, I don't like what you're saying. Just be quiet. The body was like, hey, I'm trying to tell you something. And so if you just, it's like putting a blanket on. It's like your gas tank is empty and it's like just putting a sticky note over it. So then something else is going to happen in your car because you ignored that. Okay. So that's the same with the body. So if you just turn off the pain receptors in one site, it's going to be like, okay, well, we couldn't talk to her or him that way. So like, let's try another way. Like, this is what the body is doing. Let's try another way. Maybe we'll send pain here, or maybe we'll create cancer because maybe then they'll listen. Then they'll listen. And I believe that this is why so many people are getting cancer. First of all, cancer is nothing to fear, my friends. It is nothing to fear. Everyone has cancer. Everyone has cancer in their bodies. This word has become it holds so much collective fear now because people hear the word cancer and they think, I'm going to die. No, we all have cancer. What cancer feeds on is fear. What cancer feeds on is fear. If we peel back a layer deeper, what cancer feeds on is repressed anger. You have these two in your body, you now have the perfect breeding ground for cancer. And chemotherapy, radiation, so you have the cancer right here, one part of your body. You do the radiation, the chemotherapy, you get rid of the cancer. Or you let's say you have it removed. You have the tumor removed from right here. Well, the root, the deeper root was energetic. You are all energetic. So if you get rid of just that one tumor, it's like, well, the anger, the repressed emotions are still there. So what I see so often is if people have this repressed anger, it does manifest as cancer. It does manifest as pain. It does manifest as depression and anxiety. It can manifest as so many things. But to simply just put a blanket over, shut off the pain, the sadness, well, then our body has to talk louder. And so here's the thing. You haven't done anything wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. If you are on any type of medication or pharmaceutical or prescription, you simply were doing the best you thought with what you knew. The best you could with what you knew. And we've all been there. We've all been there. It's a growing journey. And this system, this pharmaceutical industry, their profits come from people being sick. People are not sick and consuming pharmaceuticals. They are not in business. Can you see why now that it would be in their greatest advantage to sell more pharmaceuticals? It's a broken system. And I really believe that this is part of what is falling. This is part of what is decomposing. And this is part of what is being exposed and coming to the light right now. This is darkness. This is not of the light. To give people things that shut off their body and tell them that it's healing. And again, if you didn't know any better, if you are on them, you didn't know any better. And doctors, here's the thing, I'm not saying that doctors are bad. I'm not saying that they've been indoctrinated and they've been trained that this is how to help. I don't believe that doctors are trying to cause any pain or harm. I believe, who would go to school for so many years to cause pain and harm? I believe that they get into this because they want to help people. Of course they want to help people. But they're taught that this is how to do it. They're taught that this is how to do it, is to shut off people's bodies and in a way that gives them side effects and symptoms and other problems. Or what I see so often with clients is they're numb. They're numb. They don't feel. They don't feel anymore. Happiness, sadness. You didn't come to this world to not feel. You came here to feel all of it. And sometimes at one point in your life, what you were feeling was too much. It was too much. And what happens is when something is too much when we're younger and we don't know how to deal with it, the body has many different ways of compensating. It either represses it and pushes it down and buries it, or it creates this wall to never let a partner in, or it creates this sickness and illness as a way of receiving love to try and cover up the pain. It does all of these things so that it doesn't have to feel what was really uncomfortable at one point. Because as children, we don't always know. There's no child who does not have trauma. We all experience it. And until we do this deeper inner work of listening to our soul, of listening to guidance, of healing our inner child, this life or past, until we do this, our bodies are just these beautiful conduits of expression and to try and tell us if we're on the right path. That is all the body is doing. Imagine it as a ship out at sea. You're going in the wrong direction. There has to be something to course correct. It's what the body is doing when you get pain and dis-ease and cancer and anxiety and depression. It's like your ship isn't going in the right direction. You asked that you would be led to your dreams. You asked that you would be that you would fulfill your soul's mission. You asked that you would feel good. You asked that you would call in a loving relationship. You asked that you would have your dream job. You asked that you would be wealthy. You asked that you would be healthy. And so the body's like, oh, we're not going in the right direction then. We have to go in the direction of what he or she is asking. And so what that looks like is creating signposts, signals in the body, the physical, spiritual, or mental body. Creating depression, creating anxiety, creating pain, creating cancer, creating dis-ease, because it's like, oh, they asked, they prayed for whatever it is, and we want them to have that. And so we need to course correct. And I believe that when we come and understand and really come to be still and listen within these bodies and receive, what would you like me to know? How can I support you? How can I help you? How can I honor you? This could be through simply listening. This could be reaching out to a therapist, a hypnotherapist, tapping, EFT, NLP, timeline therapy, meditation, yoga, breath work. There's so many tools to release these. There are so many tools. You have to tune into your body and find what one is going to be right for you. But more often than not, it isn't until we can listen and release what's no longer serving us that we feel good. I'll never forget, I did a session very early on in being a hypnotherapist. I did a session with this woman who had had 30 brain surgeries. I actually brought her on my podcast. So I'll link that episode below if you want to listen. And she had 30 brain surgeries. And she was in so much pain. And every time she was in pain, they would just do surgery. She was in and out of the hospital in the ER all of the time. And after one session that we did together, she wasn't in pain. They told her that she had some condition, some genetic condition that could not be fixed. when we released the trauma, the pain was gone. And it can be just that easy, my friend. Again, simple, and it can be that simple. It is very simple. It's not very easy. Not always. It can be easy. It can be easy. It can be easy. And so I just want to offer this to you. I want to offer this to you if you or someone you know is in a dark space, is dealing with dis-ease, with pain, with feeling hopeless. And here's the thing, this is really was inspired by a client that I just had today who she's on 3 different medications and has come off of them, gone back on, come off of them, come back on. And she's like, now I'm on them for the reasons that they're supposed to help me with, and they used to help me with these reasons, and now they're not helping anymore. This is not uncommon. Pharmaceuticals work until they don't. Then the body gets used to them because it's like, okay, like, and here's the thing, this is my philosophy. I believe if you're really, really, really in a lot of pain or really severe depression or anxiety, like these things can help, but they're not meant to be lifelong things. They're meant to help until you can get the help. And so if we stay on them for months and years and decades, well, then the body is going to get used to it, and it's going to be like, okay, I'm still trying to talk to you. I still just want you to listen. Pain equals pay attention. I've said this for so long, and again, simple, but not easy. And I get it. I get it. It's hard. It can be hard to listen. Trust me, I get it. I have had many times, like on my knees, like, what do you want me to know, body? What do you want me to know? I get it. It's not always easy, but there are so many modalities and tools and healers and therapists to help us along our path. And also, my friends, it is not always rainbows and butterflies. And I believe that you don't want it to be. You didn't want it to be. If you signed up for a rainbows and butterflies life, first of all, you wouldn't be listening. And secondly, it'd get pretty boring after a while. Get pretty boring, and all of a sudden everything that was so happy wouldn't be so happy because you wouldn't know that there was anything else to feel. I believe that the depth to which you can feel pain is also the height to which you can feel elated, ecstasy, happiness, joy. And these souls, myself included, who have really felt the depths of sadness, of hurt, of pain, will come to know the height of gratitude, of ecstasy, of joy. It's carving out space within us so that we may fulfill our mission, so that we may come to know who we truly are. I believe it is through the depths of pain that we can come to know ourselves so deeply. I have come to know my strength, my wisdom, my depth, my gifts through my pain. I have so many clients come to me, and when we are about to release their deepest traumas, their deepest pains, their dis-ease, so often it's encoded within it an invitation to come home. And within it opens up and unlocks all of their gifts. It unlocks their connection to themselves, to source, to God, to their angels and guides. It does this because if we are being held down by the weights of our traumas and of our beliefs and our sadness and dis-ease, we're not able to fully experience all of this. that wants to be experienced through you, through the body vessel. And so if you are in pain, if you are in a dark space, if you are seeking help, please tune into your soul and find how you can release this. It may be, like I mentioned, through hypnotherapy, through tapping, through breath work, through yoga, meditation, through a psychic, through a healer, through a therapist, through nature. I believe nature is like the one that just do that every day. Just do that every day, and you won't need as many healing sessions throughout your life, or as painful or intense of a healing session. I go out into nature every day and try and do like a full day once a week. And that brings me home. Always. I still am on this journey with you, my friends. I still get healing and support. But I believe that nature helps me in the everyday, the day to day. And I believe that that is, we're going to talk about deficiencies like I started with. If we're going to talk about deficiencies, I would actually believe that that is the number one deficiency. Before vitamin D and magnesium, we're going to put vitamin N, vitamin nature, okay? That is the number one deficiency. And I believe that that is, you know, I have no idea how we would even ever do an experiment on this. But how cool would it be if we actually experimented, if our society experimented? Actually, no, this would be a pretty easy experiment now that I think about it. Keep people inside for a week versus letting people spend half of their days outside. Rather than people working 8-hour days, have them work 4 and have those other 4 hours be outside, going for a walk, walking their dogs, going for a walk on the beach, in the forest, connecting with a dear friend. I would love to measure their health after a week. 1 week. Man, someone knows anyone who could, I would actually really love to do this experiment. I would love to do this experiment. If anyone knows of any connections, please reach out to me. The email on my website. I would love to conduct this study. These are the types of studies we should be conducting, I believe, rather than clinical trials on clinical trials of certain man-made medications. But I digress. I digress. And so, again, if you are struggling, just know there's hope. There's hope. I know it's not always easy. I know it's not always fun. I know it can be painful. I get it. But I do truly believe that within whatever you are struggling with lies your greatest gifts, your greatest healing, your greatest awakening. And so with that, my friends, let me know you're listening. Hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, I am sending you all infinite love and light.